Today we're testing out the Honda Ridgeline in the snow. It's our first snow of the year here in Nebraska, so we're excited to get on the road and see what the Ridgeline can do. Just watching a car spin out trying to get in their driveway right now. They're going for a second run at it. It's really slippery. We've only got a couple of inches here, but the roads are still slick. Right now I've just got the truck in normal drive mode, not snow mode or anything. I'm just seeing how it handles like this. Yeah, when I press on the brakes, I am sliding a good amount. Giving it some gas. Yeah, we're spinning, going sideways. And I'm gonna see if when I put it in snow mode, if that changes. Because this truck has normal mode, snow mode, mud mode, and then sand mode as well. So let's see what snow mode can do. And I'm just changing that by pushing this button down here, down by the shifter. Shifting buttons, I guess. Of course, we've got Mako here, and then Blue is hiding in the back as well. And we're gonna go to the park. These boys haven't seen the snow yet this year, and they are pumped. Be fun to run around in it. Something a little bit different. It's slick enough that I'm sliding a few feet when I hit the brakes, so I'm definitely trying to brake a lot earlier than I normally would, and also watching out for cars. There's a lot of cars turning right and turning left from this intersection, and I don't know if you guys have ever had it. Oh shit, whoops, ran to red. Ooh, man, she's slick. I'm completely sliding. When they're turning, I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but when somebody's trying to turn, they end up sliding directly into your vehicle. I've had that a couple of times. It's not the most enjoyable thing in the world. It creates a couple of problems. But definitely watching out for other drivers. And we're going on the interstate right now, which appears to be a poor idea. There are a lot of vehicles up here. Something to do with the semi up here. They're just turned off into the road, the side of the road. Weird. It's not jackknifed or anything. Oh, something bad happened. It's a little jacked up in front. Something that I wanted to bring up in this video was the Apple CarPlay. In my last review video, I was saying that the Apple CarPlay doesn't always pull up when you plug your phone into the cord. And since then, I've taken advice from you guys in the comments. I happened to get a new phone as well, upgraded from the iPhone 10 to the 16, so that probably makes a difference too. But I got a shorter cord with it. I open up my phone, unlock it, and that way it can access the Apple CarPlay. That's something that you have to do as well, which I actually was doing before, but it still wasn't working. And along with getting a shorter cord, I was planning on getting an Apple product, which they are USB-C now, but Apple does not make a USB-A to a USB-C cord. So I had to go with aftermarket or off-brand cord there, which it appears to be working pretty well so far. It's just a 1.5 foot cord, so nice and short. But I would have preferred to have the name brand cord because then I don't have any other excuses. And I've only had this set up with the new phone, different cords, for about 2 weeks now, but it's been flawless. Except for right now it's 9 degrees, and when you first get in your car, the cord is really cold, and it takes about 20 minutes for the cord to get to an okay temperature for the phone to work with the Apple CarPlay, which is not the truck's fault whatsoever. The cord just needs to be warmed up a little bit. It's just something to do with the environment that we're in, I guess. But once the cord is warmed up, or when it's not ridiculously cold out, it works flawlessly. And we are still on the interstate. I'm trying to get to some back roads, maybe something that's not plowed yet, so that I can test the truck with a little bit of snow versus everything plowed. It's still super slick, which isn't great, but I'd like to take it through a couple inches of snow at least. The off-ramps are not plowed yet, just a lot of traffic through them. I'm still in snow mode, so I'm gonna try giving it some gas and see if I still spin. No. I think they salted this road pretty good though. Something that I have noticed with the snow mode is that if you do start slipping, if you're continuing to give it throttle, it won't allow you to. So it prevents you from continuing to slip and creating a dangerous situation. So that's really nice. And I feel like the traction's a little bit better because you can't gain more traction if your car is just sitting there spinning out. You got to kind of ease into it. So I was just stopped for a red light, and when I'm leaving the red light, when it finally turns green, I'm giving it a normal amount of gas and it wasn't slipping whatsoever. So I think the snow mode actually helps quite a bit with that. Like I said, this is really the first snow that we've had this year, that I've seen anyways, and it seems pretty obvious because these people are terrible at driving. They're not used to it. Are they, makers? Huh, it's bad. You know, I've never gotten this little truck stuck. Not in the snow, not in the mud, not in anything. I'd kind of like to try to get it stuck. See what it takes to get it stuck. I know I could get stuck in some mud pretty easy, but I'd like to see some snow. I'm sure if the snow is decently deep with the low clearance that this truck has, I'm sure it would just rest on top of the snow and your little tires wouldn't even be hitting the ground. So that would definitely be an issue. So it's probably not that tough to get it stuck in the snow, but I'm driving through like 2-3 inches here once in a while and it's doing fine. And this truck does have the all-wheel drive system, so it's always an all-wheel drive. One question that I had was, apparently the old Ridgelines, you were able to lock it into four-wheel drive. This does not have that at all. I'm sitting at another red light. Once it turns green, oh, here we go. I'm gonna give it a lot of gas. So I'm spinning out a ton, spinning out a ton, spinning out a ton. Okay, the snow mode did not stop it from doing that whatsoever. I just sat there and spun. Yeah, I'm still in snow mode. Huh. Normally it seems like it takes the snow a little while to change to black from white, but it just snowed today and it's already black. I just slipped on that light as well, and I've heard of people switching their truck to sand mode, and it helps quite a bit in the snow, so I'm gonna give that a try. Oh, what did that just say? When you click on sand mode, it says sand mode stability reduced. Oh, so maybe that's not a good thing. Let's give it a try, see what happens. Oh yeah, it's definitely not concerned about the traction. I was going 35 and I gave it some gas and I was spinning out. Talk about some raw power, huh, man? Whew. So I'm gonna get out of sand mode. Let's try mud mode. Maybe it was mud mode that they were talking about. Oh, that says stability reduced as well. Oh, so I'm just noticing, so when I switch to mud mode and sand mode, there is a little light, the traction control light up on the dash, and it says off. So that's probably not what you want in the snow. Huh, I've never seen that light on, actually. Well, I've never tried those modes, but so I would not advise sand or mud mode in the snow, as it turns off your traction control. And that sounds pretty dangerous. So right now I'm going back to normal and I'm gonna see how that works. Wonder who it was that told me to go into sand mode. Maybe they're trying to get me hurt. It's not very nice of them. Normally this park that we're going to is about 20 minutes away, but it's taking us a completely different route. So I think there must have been an accident on the interstate, because it's instead of 20 minutes, it's gonna be about 35 minutes. And I'm still going around the speed limit. It's a 55, I'm going 53. Just because everybody in front of me is going slow. The roads aren't bad though, I don't think. Just kind of the first snow of the year, so everybody freaks out and you have to relearn how to drive in it. I did use the remote start today, which I actually use all the time, because even though it's not snowing here like crazy, it still gets pretty chilly, often too. When it's pretty much, I would say like 30 or lower than that, I normally use the remote start. Well, I've got a bunch of geese out here. When I do use it, like today, it was about 9 degrees when I started the truck. I normally go through 2 cycles. So initially, when you start it up with the remote start, it runs for about 10 minutes, and then after that it shuts off. I think most vehicles do the same thing, but to make sure the vehicle's warm, I normally just go through 2 cycles of that. And if you try to go more than that, it does not work. It won't start back up with the remote start. Quite a few times in the recent month, I've come out of the hospital where I work, and it's like -10 with wind chill. So I use the remote start, and I find that you do need the 2 cycles of the remote start to actually have a warm vehicle by the time you get to it. When you do that, it's nice and toasty when you get in. It's perfect. We have officially made it to the park, and none of these back roads have been plowed at all, which is perfect for trying out the truck. And the boys are excited, aren't you, Mickey? You recognize this place, don't ya? There was a pretty decent drift when we came in here, or not drift, but just piled up snow from the snowplow. Let's go have some fun, boys. It was chilly out there. We were only out there for about an hour, but my face is frozen, my lips are numb. And you know, it's never just cold, it's always got to be windy too. Everything else is fine. just my face. Fingers were fine, toes were fine. I think the puppies might have been getting chilly. Were you, Meekers? I want to see if we can see a difference in the modes between normal, snow, sand, and mud. So I'm just going to see if on the video we can see the tires spin differently. Just going to give it some good gas. This is normal. Okay, so sliding a ton. So in normal, it slid a ton, ended up going sideways a little bit. All right, this is snow mode. Still ended up slipping quite a bit, not quite as much as normal mode, but instead of when I was in normal mode, I kind of slipped off to the left. When I was in snow mode, for some reason, I slipped off to the right. All right, now we're gonna try mud mode. And this is the one that basically turns off the traction control. So we'll see what this does. That is not for the snow. No. The tires just sat there and spun. And I'm assuming that's the same thing that's gonna happen when we go in sand mode, but we're gonna give it a try anyway. Okay, and this is sand mode. That's funny. Definitely cannot do donuts with this thing since it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It's fun to try though, you just kind of go sideways. So now I'm gonna switch it back to snow mode. So that's definitely seemed to work the best. Giving it some gas. Yeah, it does not slip near as much as the others. I'd say what I'm finding out today is that there's really not too much of a difference between normal mode and snow mode with the truck, but is a big difference between those two modes and then sand and mud, because that takes off the traction control, which ends up making a pretty good difference. In the end, I would say that the Ridgeline handles the snow pretty well. Like I said, I am in only like 3-4 inches of snow right now. It would be a better test if I was in like a foot or deeper. So hopefully I'm able to find some snow that deep yet this year. And if I do, I'll definitely post a video of it. But I would say it would definitely help me if I was to get some new tires, because these ones are getting towards the end of their life. So I think that'll improve how my truck handles in the snow quite a bit. But as it is right now, it did a really good job. And this test drive that I was just on, although I intended it to be mostly testing out in the snow, I was also testing it out on quite a bit of ice, because there is a fair amount of ice on the road, which the truck still slipped when I was accelerating and definitely when I was braking, which I don't think it really matters what vehicle you have. It's going to slip when you're braking. It would matter the tires, but nothing against the Ridgeline on that. And I think this will be the end of the video. And if you guys wouldn't mind, just comment what tires you recommend for this truck. I would really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions or ideas for different videos that you want to see, just let me know. I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for the next video.